Okay, let's start the foundation course for ISO 27001. We want to go through some basics and definitions before going further in the training course. These basics, it will help us to be on the same page and to understand a lot of information which we will discuss later today and in the next 2 days. For example, information. Unfortunately, we have an attitude that the information, it's always a digital format. But when we discuss ISO 27001, we are not consider information only as a digital format. It's a paper, and if it's written on a paper or even in spoken form, and it's considered as an asset for the organization. It is considered as an asset for the organization, which we have to protect. From your experience, gentlemen, what is an asset? What is the definition of an asset, organization asset? Any answer?
It is a question?
Yeah.
Okay. The asset, we can say, is a resource for the company.
Asset is a resource, okay.
Could be documentations.
Okay.
Policies, maybe finance, something related to finance also.
Okay, what is the definition? What is an asset? If I want to define an asset in a phrase, what should I say?
Can I say a few words for this?
Sure, please, go ahead.
So an asset is something that that has some value to an organization.
Perfect. This is the right definition. Gentlemen, asset, you will find a lot of definition for assets, depends upon the body which you are dealing with. But in ISO 27001, it's defined as it is something tangible or non-tangible which has a value for the organization. It is an something which may be tangible or intangible, which have a value for the organization. This, it can be a process, it can be activity, it can be resources, it can be finance, it can be whatever it is, just to name it. Then these are the assets. Then I don't want you to limit your thing that asset, it means that it's maybe PC or desktop or a machine or something which is rigid, which I can touch it. It can be a process, a manufacturing process, for example. It can be an activity where you are doing a product, and this product, it consists of many processes, and each process consists of multiple activities and so on. And this is the definition of the asset. Okay. Another definition which is very important, and when we are speaking about the ISO, we have to make it very clear in our mind. Very clear in our mind. What is the CIA triad? Gentlemen, when we are speaking about security, we are speaking about CIA. And you will find when ISO speak about security, they will speak about CIA. What does CIA mean? Confidentiality. Question. What is confidentiality? Any answer?
Yes, Abu Yahya. Confidentiality, I'm assuming the right people accessing the right data.
Okay. Any other definition? Okay, confidentiality, as well he mentioned now, that to ensure that authorized users are accessing the data. Because confidentiality means that you don't want unauthorized user to access the data by any way. What is the most famous method for implementing confidentiality?
Database.
No, database, how you can implement confidentiality. If someone, he opens the database, he can read records.
Encryption.
Firewall
and
virus.
Sorry?
Firewall and antivirus.
Firewall?
Yes.
Firewall, it will not protect the confidentiality because firewall, it will allow access or disallow access. But confidentiality, it is mainly implemented using encryption. If the data is encrypted, then this means that no one he will be able to see the data except if he is authorized. Then he will be able to decrypt. Then confidentiality to allow authorized user to access data, and the way of implementation or the most famous way of implementation is the encryption. Okay, what's integrity?
Ensuring the data is right, Abu Yahya.
Ensuring the data is right. What do you mean?
I mean the data should be integral.
Again, what is integral?
Okay. Can I give an example for that?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I have some information. This information is stored in a certain place. So the people who are authorized to keep this data right, they are only the data here is the responsibility of these people to keep this data right always. No one else he can modify or change this data to make sure that it is integral.
Okay. But what about if the data it's moving or it's exchanged over the internet? Is it integrity applied to the same concept or not?
No.
Yes, it must be saved or from unauthorized data changes even over the network and transmitted.
Okay, that's right. That's right. When we are saying integrity, gentlemen, even it's unauthorized, prevent unauthorized data change, even if data in transient or data on rest. Are you familiar with these expressions, data on transient or data in rest? What is data in rest?
Excuse me, when it is saved on a hard disk or on any media, which is not moved from location to another.
Okay, this data in rest. Data in rest when it's stored in storage or whatever any media, this it's called data in rest. And what is data in transient?
The exchange data between participants.
We exchange data, that's right. Then the point here when we say integrity, gentlemen, this means that to prevent unauthorized changes for this data, even it's data in rest or data in transient. Then if I want to buy something from Amazon.com, a book for $50, and there is a man in the middle attack or hacker, and he is trying to manipulate my record or connection, he can change the value, and instead of deducting $50 as the book fees, he can deduct $500. Then this is one way of the integrity violations. Okay. Finally, what is availability? I think availability, it's easy, but to make the data available for the user, to make data available for the user when he requires it.
Abu Yahya, for your example, it is confidentiality issue, not integrity issue, right?
Which one?
The man in the middle. Yes,
yeah,
for example.
It's integrity. Because the hacker, he changed the value of the money, which is $50, and he changed it into $500. It's both, actually, we are both of them, confidentiality and integrity. Because confidentiality, the hacker, which is unauthorized user, he see a data which he should not see it, when it's a confidentiality problem. And integrity, because he make unauthorized changes to the data.
I see, thank you.
You are most welcome. Availability, to make the data available for the users. To make the data available for the users. Whenever they need the data, they can find it. Okay? I will have another definition, gentlemen, which it make confusion for most of you.
Abu Yahya, sorry for interrupting you. There is a window covering some of the words.
It's a black one?
Yes.
Okay. Because this, you know, in front of me, this is a list of participants, and to see who is speaking. Now I close it. Sorry. If you don't mind, before anyone, he can say whatever a note or answer or whatever to mention his name. Then I know who is speaking, please. Then I will not open this screen, which it will hide the slides, okay?
Okay.
What is the policy? I am quite sure that you heard this expression before. Policy, standard, and procedure. What is a policy? Tell me, what is a policy, gentlemen? Give me your opinion about a policy.
A policy could be like a rule or like that is a statement that we should follow it.
Maybe like instructions of Yahya as well, or boundaries that you have to work within.
Okay, and who is responsible for developing this policy?
Could be the management in the organization.
Not could, it must be.
Okay.
Policy, gentlemen, it's owned by the management. And a policy,
What kind of
top management. Top management. The top management or senior management of the company. And when I say top management, I don't mean CSO, not Chief Security Officer. It will be the CEO or board of directors. This is the top management who are responsible for managing the company. And policy, it means that it will explain the intent of the management for a specific topic. For example, security here. What is our target in security? What is our objective for the security? What are our goals for security? I want to protect my data. I want to be compliant with the regulation and rules. I want to provide accurate data for my staff, and so on. And these are the policies. And the policy, it is developed by management, and it shows the management intent for the security. Okay?
Sorry, we are interrupting you. This is why it doesn't depend on the organization type. And for example, for small and medium organizations, maybe your state is right. But how about the enterprise organization that it might have entity or a certain unit inside the organization is maintaining this and developing it?
What do you mean? Yani, give me an example.
Yani, for example, maybe the company has a certain unit or a certain department inside the organization that its main objective is to maintain and develop these policies in accordance with the structure.
No, this is not workable. No. If you will open any policy in any company, even small, medium enterprise, who is the person who signed the policy?
So the signing here, I'm not talking about the signing. I'm talking about now the policy, and who is developing it.
I am not caring about who developed it, because I know that what you are confusing in. The person who is write the policy and the person who will sign the policy. By the end of the day, who is the owner?
The person who signed.
Yes, it is the management. Of course, when you will come and say, please, I want you to develop a security policy, I don't think that the CEO, he will take a paper or he will open Word and he'll start to write the data, right? But he may explain what's his expectation, what are his expectations for the security in the organization, for CSO, and he will write this and put it in some technical format, and he will give it to the CEO to sign it. Then this means that CSO, he is not the owner. CSO, he may be an operator. In this case, operator, he write it to him in a technical way. But who is responsible for it? It is the policy who is responsible for the CEO. So if you will find in a big organization, if you will tell him, or if you will say that this is a policy, he will search for the CEO signature or board of directors or whatever, the management, authorized management. If this signature is not there, then this is not authorized policy. ISO 27001, if the policy is not signed by the management, then it's not formal. It's considered as a draft until it is signed by the management. Okay? Gentlemen.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, Abu, thank you.
Okay. The second expression, it will be the standard. What is the standard? Okay. What do you think, gentlemen? What is the standard?
Standard usually, it is like a best practices documented in a way that it can be used as a reference for the organization to work.
Okay. Any other definition, gentlemen? Please, gentlemen, if you have anything in your mind, just share it with us. We are not here to say that you are correct or you are wrong or this is good or this is bad. But we want to have an interactive session together. Please, do you there is any opinion about the definition of a standard? Okay, gentlemen, the standard is a document of requirements. Standard, we call it document of requirements. This standard, it can be internal or external developed. It can be internal developed by the organization or external developed as ISO 27001, for example. Then, for example, if I say a policy that I want to protect a data, I want to protect a data, then the standard, it will try to explain the policy in more details. It will say, I want to use IPsec for data security. Then this is a requirement. Then if there is any other one, you will say, okay, I will not use IPsec, I will use SSL. We'll tell him, no, we are really sorry. SSL, it's not approved in our organization. In the standard, it mentioned that the IPsec, it is the only encryption method which is allowed in our organization. Then the standard, it will get the policy directions, it will support the policy direction and give more details for it. Yani, for example, policy, it will say that I want to provide availability 24/7 for my services and activities. Then, what the standard it will mention here, gentlemen? If the policy mentioned that I want to provide 24/7 services and activities, then what the standard it should mention in its content to explain the availability point mentioned in the policy? What do you think? Anybody home? لسه في حد صاحي يا شباب؟
Yes, we are here. I think we must write, for example, like the data must be always available for authorized.
How it will be available? Now it's a standard.
Yes.
Document of requirements. You have to tell me, you have to do this.
Yeah,
you have to be very rigid. You have to be very aggressive. Document, standard. You have to do this. Here we can say HA, high availability, or business continuity planning. We have to support availability by use business continuity planning, or to use HA, high availability. That whatever any device which you will have it, you must have a standby device. Then if the primary one is down, then the second one, it will take over, and user will not feel any downtime. Okay? Is it clear?
That's clear.
Can you differentiate between the policy and standard now?
Yes, I can.
Frankly speaking, is still confused away.
Policy, it will explain the management intent for the security. What do we expect from the security? But it will not tell you any technical expressions, because management, they don't understand IPsec, they don't understand switches, they don't understand networks, they don't understand databases and all this stuff. Then policy, it will give you general guidelines or requirements for the security requirements. A standard, it will be developed based on the policy recommendation and give more technical details about the requirements in the policy. The policy, you mentioned that you want to protect the data, great. How you can protect it? By IPsec, which it will be mentioned in the standard. Also, you can say, I want to use IPsec with a key 512K, or I want to use the protocol so and so on. Then the policy, it will be general requirements or general security requirements. A standard, it will be specific requirements, and it's mandatory. Document of requirements. If you want to appeal with the requirement or with the organization rules, you have to follow the standard. For example, in the policy, it will mention that we want to provide secure devices or secure PCs for the users. Then in the standard, they will say that, okay, we will develop or we will create an image which it can be loaded into the user PCs, and user PCs will be provided by the organization itself. Users are not allowed to bring their machines from outside, and they have to load the image of the operating system image, which is provided in the service desk, for example. Okay?
Okay, but if you allow me, we have just here. I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm interrupting you here too much.
No problem.
Now, because if you allow me, the standards and the process. Do we have here? I know that it is not mentioned here, but and for me, as per my understanding, the standard usually it is based on the best practices that are available in the markets.
No.
And when
No, it's not. It's not based on available. يعني it can help in the best practices. It can help, but the standard itself, it's requirement. And you mentioned process. Please don't confuse between process and standard. Process, it's some activities, group of activities. It has an input and it has an output, and it's totally different than the standard. The standard, this piece of paper, it has some points which you have to fulfill. So simple like that. Some points which you have to fulfill. I want to implement ISO 27001. Okay, it will give me 10 points. If you fulfill these 10 points, you are ISO certified. If you don't, you are not compliant with ISO certification.
Okay, clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Most welcome. The last point, it will be procedure. What is the procedure? Okay, now we have the general expectation from security. When the standard, it defined what are their technical requirements. The procedure, it will give you step-by-step guidelines to make the configuration. It will tell you, for example, in the standard, we need IPsec. Okay, that's great. How you configure the IPsec? I can configure IPsec on the firewall in this way, or I can configure it on another device in this way. Then you will find a guideline to show you how to configure it. And in the operation field or operation team, if they want to configure some devices, we have to bring the procedure for IPsec configuration, and we can make the configuration, which is a step-by-step guidelines for conducting a specific task. Okay, any questions? Okay, we will have a break for 10 minutes. Then we will continue module number 2 for ISMS.